And as you will have seen, we issued a statement last night expressing the Secretary General's concern about the continued intense airstrikes and ground fighting in Yemen, despite his repeated calls for a cessation of hostilities. In this regard, he strongly condemned the apparent airstrikes on February 27th that hit Khalek Market in Nahem district in Sana'a, which killed approximately at least 32 civilians and injured 41. The death toll is among the highest from a single bombing since September of last year. The Secretary General expresses his sincere condolences and sympathies to the families of the victims and calls for a prompt and impartial investigation of this incident. The Secretary General also reiterates his call on all parties to the conflict in Yemen to engage in good faith with his special envoy in order to agree on a cessation of hostilities as soon as possible and to convene a new round of peace talks.
Any updates on Yemen? I remember Ismail Sheikh Ahmed a couple of days ago said that he plans to resume the negotiations in the beginning of March.
No update to share. He's currently in the region having discussions.
Yeah, staying on Yemen, this condemnation yesterday by Secretary General for the Nahem attack, Nahem marketplace attack, comes in the same day. In fact, when yesterday as well, Marzik refugee camp in Hajjah Governorate was attacked by airplanes, and scores or dozens of people were killed in that process. A lot of Yemeni reporters have said that the Yemen's crisis has been underreported by the United Nations. There is starvation in Yemen. Over 1 million tweets yesterday were published on Twitter showing images of carnage, of starvation everywhere. So the United Nations is accused of under-reporting, under-covering this issue.
What is the question?
And the crisis in Yemen, comparing with Syria, is far much larger.
I appreciate what you're saying, but I just would like to hear a question.
Here, these accusations, what does the United Nations say about accusations that you don't give Yemen enough attention, like
I think
like Syria, for example?
You know, we have been talking repeatedly about Yemen from this podium. Other UN officials have, including the Secretary General, ensuring that the crisis in Yemen is not forgotten. Mr. Ismail Sheikh Ahmed is working on trying to get the parties back to the table. We keep calling for cessation of hostilities. I think we've been highlighting over and over again the humanitarian tragedy that is going on in Yemen. Yemen was already a very vulnerable country before the current state of fighting started. There is now a man-made crisis which has plunged the Yemeni people deeper into suffering. We are trying to report as best as we can from what is, in all intents and purposes, in many parts of the country, an active combat zone. In many cases, once the conflict starts, we do realize that there has been some underreporting because there were some places that we've not been able to get to, and information is not easy to get. But I think the last thing we've been doing is is forgetting about Yemen.
Yeah, follow up on that. When was the last time Mr. Sheikh Ahmed criticized the coalition for airstrikes, for example, against civilians?
Well, I think
Sana'a is on almost
I
every
appreciate
day
what you're saying. I think his reports to the Council have been pretty direct, and the statements by the Secretary General when they're condemning airstrikes, when they have been, as we just did, have also been frequent and as necessary as they should be. I will come back to you. I will come back.
Cluster bomb has never been condemned.
I beg to differ, but we have been highlighting the terrible toll that cluster bombs have been taken.